Welcome back into Dolphins Today. I am Tom Downey, and as promised, 53-man roster cuts are in the books. We will break that all down for the Dolphins, who got cut, who was on the roster, who could come back to the roster, and who got traded. And what I found a bit of a surprise, Dan Feeney has been moved from the Miami Dolphins to the Chicago Bears, saves a little bit of money. The trade does leave a $2.05 million cap charge on the Dolphins' books. Saves $1.21 million in cap space. I guess they were just done with him. That's what that trade tells me. Not getting a ton back, although a decent-ish deal relative to other offensive line trades. Trade number 2, which we broke down earlier today, Kelvin Joseph, a new nickel option as the disappointing second-round pick, got an exchange for a disappointing first-round pick in Noah Igbinoghene. We broke down that trade earlier, which I hope you guys all watched and enjoyed, because when news happens, we have you guys covered. If there is a signing tomorrow, we will have it broken down as well. YouTube.com/Dolphins News. Free videos every single day right here on the channel. Let's break down these roster cuts here. Now, I'm going to make note of Malik Reed. He is a vested veteran, although he has a big signing bonus, so I doubt they would have chosen to do it this way, or the big base salary guaranteed. You can cut a vested veteran and then bring them back a day later after you put other guys on IR. Malik Reed, Geron Christian, I believe, are eligible for that. Maybe keep an eye on it. Aubrey Miller cut, prime practice squad candidate. Chris Coleman, Josiah Bronson also moved on from. Jaylen Twyman, the defensive tackle, he's been dumped. Jamal Woods, no surprise there. Keke Coutee is gone. A.J. Johnson, and the Dolphins will hope that Mitchell Agude finds his way to the practice squad. James Blackman, that one was obvious. Randy Charlton, Garrett Nelson, James Tunstall, Keidron Smith. Maybe Smith's a practice squad candidate, but those were mostly expected moves. Now, if you are excited about week 1 of the NFL season, then like the video. I am hyped. I cannot wait to see things get going there. I'm sure you guys are too. Should be a great year for the Fins. Like the video right now. Some more cuts, some more notable names here. Jamal Perry, obvious. Ryan Hayes, I don't think he gets claimed. Should make it to the practice squad. Myles Gaskin might choose to go elsewhere since he's kind of buried on a pretty deep group of defensive linemen, or of backs. Alama, Uluave, practice squad. No true center right now for the Dolphins on the roster behind Trill Williams. That's an area to keep an eye out for. Cameron Goode released. Again, practice squad potential there. Ethan Bonner, Deshaun Hand, who's a bit banged up, could come back at some point. Elijah Higgins, the draft pick, was waived. The tight end, hoping he gets through waiver claims down to the practice squad. More often than not, they do, but not always a guarantee. Tanner Connor, who's a bit banged up right now or coming from off injury, could see him come back soon. Bryce Thompson, also waived. I believe Connor falls in the vested veteran category. So given the lack of tight ends on the roster, could see one coming back in the near future. Who was the most surprising roster cut for you guys this year? This is today's pinned comment, and I want to hear your answers. Go vote at the pinned comment, especially if the ad comes here on YouTube right now. Trill Williams released, a prime practice squad candidate. Same with Braylon Saunders. Robbie Chosen was cut. Now, Miami carried 6. He is a vested veteran. He could come back. I don't know if they're going to carry 7 wide receivers. That might be it. If he does not get brought back, that might be near the end of the Robbie Chosen era in the NFL, not just with Miami. David Davis got an injury settlement after his scary concussion. He's okay now. Tyler Kroft, by the way, I mentioned this with Tanner Connor, but it was definitely the case with Tyler Kroft. He will be back, I think. Vested veteran. You have 2 tight ends on the active roster. You need a third. Kroft stands out to me there. Will not go through waivers. Perry Nickerson released. Cedric Ogbuehi released. Justin Bethel, currently banged up, could come back later on in the season. Those are all of the cuts. You're going, well, who the hell's left? We'll break it down for you guys here momentarily. I will also make note more moves will happen. Practice squad stuff. They'll put players on IR, re-sign some players. Do not miss out. Make sure you are subscribed. YouTube.com/Dolphins News. Free videos when the news happens and every single day right here on the channel. Let's break down the 53-man roster. As expected, 3 quarterbacks for your Dolphins. Tua, Mike White, Skylar Thompson. That was expected. What wasn't really expected was 6 running backs plus the fullback. Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, Devon Achane, Savon Ahmed, and the Dolphins kept Chris Brooks. I guess they did not want to risk losing him to waivers, which I think you would be able to get him on there, but that's fine. Brooks is your 5th running back plus fullback Alec Ingold. 6 receivers, the obvious names, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Braxton Berrios, Eric Ezukama. Cedric Wilson took a slight pay cut to stick around. They kind of restructured some money, free up some immediate cap space, so I like that move by the Miami Dolphins to keep him. River Craycraft ends up being wide receiver 6 over Robbie Chosen, in part because special teams matters. The tight end room is crazy thin. Eric Saubert placed on IR. That ends his season. It is over. Outside of the most convoluted return after getting waived from IR thing ever, which isn't going to happen here, he's done. Just Durham, Smythe, and Julian Hill. So somebody will be coming either back after waiver claims or back after initial cuts, or they could always claim somebody as well. So name a player who you guys want to add on the Dolphins roster. Any position group, sound off for me in the comment section right now. The offensive line goes 10 deep for now. Teron Armstead, Isaiah Wynn, Connor Williams, Robert Hunt, Austin Jackson, Kendall Lamb, no surprises there. Lester Cotton makes it, as does Robert Jones. He's going to miss some time. I would bet he gets placed on injured reserve, freeing up a spot, but you have to be carried through for one day, then you go to IR, then you get to come back later on in the season. Keidron Smith made it. I was kind of surprised with that. Not in a bad way, but I didn't think he would make the team over Ryan Hayes, but that's what happened there. Liam Eichenberg, 2. He might be your new backup center. They don't have one. Robert Jones, Eichenberg have taken some snaps, but not a lot, so that's an area of concern right now for Miami. Thin defensive line room as expected. Brandon Peely, the UDFA, does end up making it, along with Zach Sealer, Raekwon Davis, and Christian Wilkins. He spoke with media today, says he's not going to ask for a trade, doesn't want to go anywhere. Other teams called Miami, though. Both Wilkins and the Dolphins said, no, we don't want to do that. The edge rusher room, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Emmanuel Ogbah, Andrew Van Ginkel. Nothing too surprising about the linebackers in general. It's also David Long, Jerome Baker at the inside linebacker room, Duke Riley, Channing Tindall, Zeke Vandenberg's been on injured reserve for a while now. So we know for the most part what this Dolphins roster looks like. You are just debating who was, player 40 to 53 to a certain extent. Rate the Dolphins roster for me. 1 to 99 Madden-style scale. Vote for me in the comments. The cornerback room here. So Xavier Howard, Kader Kohou, Cam Smith, Eli Apple all make the team as expected. Jalen Ramsey will make it for one day. Then he will go to injured reserve. Nick Needham is staying on the PUP list. He's going to miss at least the first 4 weeks of the season. Keon Crossan placed on IR. His season is over. Kelvin Joseph, the trade acquisition. So your outside guys will be Howard, Apple, Smith. Your hybrid piece can be Kader Kohou, and your nickel piece can be Kelvin Joseph. The other the DBs, the safeties, Javon Holland, Brandon Jones. I would bet Elijah Campbell also placed on IR. Now, how many guys we mentioned going to IR? There will be moves coming tomorrow. They will be signing and re-signing players in the near future. Holland, Jones, Deshaun Elliott might actually start, by the way, at safety. The Dolphins had considered cutting Verone McKinley, trying to sneak him through. They did not go that route. He made the initial 53-man roster. Miles Dorn also on IR. That was a previous move, by the way. He could also maybe get an injury settlement there potentially. Your 3 special teamers, as expected, certainly no surprise here. Jason Sanders, Blake Ferguson, and Jake Bailey. More moves will come for the Fins. I promise you, there's going to be some adjustments made. Do not miss out. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/DolphinsNews.